Welcome, welcome. So great to be here. I'm just taking my watch off because it's going to make a sound and could just annoy us all. Oh, actually, I know what it is. It's the buttons on this jacket. Look at that. Oh, okay. So that's just, I don't know, what will we turn that into something really powerful? Every time you hear that, it reminds you that you're unlimited. Okay, so let's do that. All right. It's so wonderful to be with you again, everybody. I hope that today in our chat that you have lots of aha moments and you realize the incredible being that you are and that you manifest whatever you want to be, do or have, and that you are happy because that's the most important thing, right? Happiness. Because when you're happy, then you just have a thought and it manifests instantly. So it's kind of the shortcut to everything. So today you can start sending in your questions actually if you have some questions. I have got a couple of questions that people sent in ahead of time that I'm going to answer. I chose them because they're really awesome questions. All of you ask such great questions, you really do. Wish I could answer every single one of them. Wish I could sit down with every single one of you and just sort of work through anything that you're dealing with. But hopefully, if you hear the answers to these questions, they're applying to your life. That's the great thing about law of attraction. Everything is in place. So whatever you hear is relevant to your life too. Hi, everybody on Instagram. It's so, so wonderful to have you here. And Facebook too. Okay, so today's talk is well, it's not a talk, but, subject. We are unlimited. And we are unlimited because it's actually our very nature. And it doesn't feel like that, does it, when you're a person and you're like, I can't do this and I can't do that, I can't fly like the birds, and all kinds of things that you think maybe you should be able to do that you can't do. But in truth, you are absolutely unlimited and everything is possible for you. And it's our nature. And so it's our nature because what we are is we are the unlimited infinite being. And that unlimited infinite being is basically the foundation of the entire universe. That's what a big deal you are. That's how big a deal you are. And I'm not talking about the person. When I'm talking about the infinite being, I'm not talking about the person because the person is something you're experiencing. You're experiencing being a person. I'm talking about the infinite being that you truly are. The person is limited. And we know that, right? We know there are limits. I can't do those triple backflips, those triple backflips that they do in the Olympic Games gymnastics. The person is limited, but who you really are, who we really are, who you've always been, and who you will always be is unlimited. And so in my latest book, The Greatest Secret, I wrote a paragraph that talks about the person and the unlimited being. And I just want to read this little piece to you because I could try and ad lib it, but if I did that, it mightn't be as great as when I wrote it. And so I'd rather read it to you so that you get it, every word, and that it's super, super powerful for you. Because the person is awesome. You're having an experience of the person and it's wonderful, but it's not who you are. And there are some differences between the person and the infinite being that really, really, really are important. So here we go. Everything about a person is the very opposite of who you really are. The person is imperfect. The real you is perfect. Perfection itself. The person is temporary and limited. The real you is permanent and unlimited. The person is born and dies. The real you was never born and never dies. The person is personal and unstable. The real you is impersonal and always stable. The person has changing moods. The real you is constant happiness and peace. The person is full of judgments and opinions. The real you is allowing and accepting of everything. The person gets sick and becomes old. The real you is not subject to aging, and sickness can never reach you, touch you. The person suffers. The real you is free of all pain and suffering. The person dies. The real you exists for all eternity. And so while it's really amazing to be a person and to have an experience of being super duper 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 limited as we are really unlimited. And so it's the unlimited part within you that we want to bring out so that you can have an amazing, amazing life. Okay, so let me just see so I can say hi. Somebody's saying law of attraction is a positive addiction. Indeed, indeed. We are free. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being here, everybody. It just makes me so, so happy to talk to you all. And okay, so let's get on to some questions. Let me just have a sip of water while I'm doing that. Hi from Dublin. Wow. Wow, South Africa. Oh my gosh. Hello from, just reading the comments here, and hello from Tahiti. Hi, Luana. Hi, Luana. Oh my gosh. And greetings from the Philippines. Hi, Ara. Oh, it's just so wonderful that you're all here. Thank you. So we are really unlimited. Yes, we are really unlimited, somebody said. Okay, so from Instagram, Lisa asked this question, and please talk more about how there is no death. I'm trying to understand this. Well, we just kind of talked about that a little bit, didn't we? That because the person is mortal and the infinite being that you are is immortal. So the body is born, and we know that, and the body ends. We know that too. So we see it. But who you are was never born, never ever. And that's why you can never die. And impossible, actually, for you to die. You, the real you, that is awareness, consciousness, never dies, ever. It's impossible. You are actually life itself. And the one that is breathing this body, that's awareness, consciousness. That's who you really are, who is breathing the body. Because the body itself is just like this fantastic piece of machinery, but the awareness that you are is running the whole show, and it's like boundless space. We are like boundless space. That's kind of the best way to describe who we are, because we don't have a form. We're not contained. If we had a form, we would be limited, right? So we don't have a form. We are just this boundless space. And what we're doing, we are basically holding the entire universe up. That's how incredible you are. And so here on earth, we're having the experience of being a person, and we've forgotten how incredible we are. We've forgotten the beauty that we are and the power that we have. But you do have the power. You have the power to manifest your life, to be completely free, and to have the most amazing, awesome life, free of fear. Because the more that you understand who you are, the more fear goes out the door. And really, you don't want fear. It's not fun, is it? Okay, so next question is also from Instagram. When should I practice welcoming versus observing feelings? That is the bird flying by. So in The Greatest Secret, we used there's an analogy about a bird flying by. It was actually to do with thought, I think, if I recall, that if a bird is flying by, we don't ask the bird, well, where are you from? What breed of bird are you? Where did you come from? Where are you going to? You just nested. Have you got a partner? Where's the rest of your family? I mean, we don't get involved with that bird, do we? We just let the bird fly on by. And that's what we should do with thoughts. And actually feelings, it's not a bad idea. It's just let them pass by, because all that they are is energy. And if we just let them pass on by, then they don't stick to us and they don't stay and they don't impact our life. Also, if we are observing feelings, we're welcoming feelings. And I've talked about welcoming before. Welcoming is a process that stops us from resisting. And so, because resistance is really the one thing that gets in the way of manifestation, is that we're resisting. And resistance, it's like doubt and I don't really believe that I'm going to get it. All of those doubts, that's just resistance. That's all it is. And so when we welcome something, that causes us to stop resisting. And the way that we welcome is we just get that feeling, that negative feeling, and we just allow that negative feeling to be here. We don't resist it. We don't try and push it away. We just allow it to be here, and it will just dissolve. It's just energy, and it will just spiral and dissolve and be completely gone. And your life just got a whole lot better from doing that. And so welcoming stops resistance. And so that means that you're not identifying with the feeling and you're not believing the feeling, because nothing's personal. You know, those feelings, they're just energy. They're not personal. Like, they don't have your name on them. You think they do, but they don't. And thoughts don't have your name on them either. They're just energy. We could say just energy passing by like clouds, you know. So yeah, that's the secret, isn't it? Is to not believe negative thoughts and negative feelings. If we could just do that, life would be great. And you don't have to try and control them. You just don't believe them, right? And there might be a really juicy thought or a juicy feeling that comes in, and you're kind of riding that feeling like a roller coaster for a few hours. And then when you've suffered enough from that awful feeling, you just think, I've had enough. And then you realize, oh no, I was identifying with that feeling. I thought that feeling was who I am. Because do you know what happens? Like guilt, for example, the energy of guilt can just be like passing by, just passing through. Except when it passes through, we can say, I'm guilty. But we're not. That was just guilt. Nothing to do with us. Okay, so, all right, next question. Let me just see everybody here. Hi, Dina, on Facebook. I just want to read these comments. I'll try and get to your question, Dina. I really will, because it's a great question. Okay. Hi, Laura. Hello from his Instagram. Oh, they're going fast, but I can see you all. I can see all of the hearts. I can see all of your comments and everything. So it's just beautiful. Okay. So here's a question that I thought you all might be interested in hearing this answer. This person asked, 3-word question, is karma real? So the law of karma, as it was known in the Hindu tradition, is the law of karma. It's actually really no different to the law of attraction. It's just different words. And law of attraction is easier for us to understand in this century than karma was, you know, hundreds of years ago and thousands of years ago. But yes, karma is real. But let me just define what karma is really, because we can, you know, we say, oh, that's bad karma, and we tend to think of karma as some kind of punishment system, and it isn't that at all. Karma operates on our thoughts. It operates only on the mental plane, so it operates on our thoughts, but of course we have a thought before we act. So we have a thought, when we speak, that's a thought, so it covers most things. It is, it's just what it's doing is it's affecting everything mentally. I've sort of lost my train of thought now of what I was going to say to you. Is karma real? It affects all of our lives. However, it's not a punishment. It is a rebalancing of energy. That's all it is. It's not you did something wrong and you're going to be punished, bad karma. So here's the way it works. Whatever we put out, that's energy, that returns to us exactly based on what we put out. So the thoughts that we have, the thoughts that we identify with, the thoughts that we believe matters a great deal because they're karmic and they will return to us basically exactly the way that we sent them out. And so it's a pretty fair system if you think about it, because it affects, it's equal for all of us. And so karma is just a rebalancing of energy. That's all it is. Operating on the mental thoughts, operating on the mind, and then the energy just returns to you. Next question from Leslie. Her question is, when we reject a negative thought, we are creating resistance. Are we creating resistance? When we reject a negative thought, are we creating resistance? We could be. It depends how you're rejecting it. If you're just kind of letting it go and not identifying with it and not believing it, then it's not going to create any resistance. But if you wish it wasn't there and if you want it to go away and you're all like that about it, then you are creating resistance. And the next part of Leslie's question is, to welcome a negative thought stops resistance. That's true. But are we manifesting that negative thought and letting it into our subconscious by welcoming it? Are we manifesting the negative thought when we welcome a negative thought? So, no, it won't manifest. And the reason it won't manifest is because we're not believing it. Because when we welcome it, we've noticed what it is, we're not believing it, we're not identifying with it, and it won't manifest. Thoughts only manifest when we believe them, when we identify with them. So welcoming not only releases the negative thought, but it takes a whole lot of negative thoughts out of the subconscious mind with it. So, I mean, it's a really incredible, my teacher would say, it's an automatic self-cleansing mechanism. So all we have to do is just kind of welcome that negative thought or welcome that negative feeling. And it's basically cleaning out everything. And as it does, you get lighter, your life becomes spectacular. You become so happy, nothing bothers you anymore. You don't even understand what the word problems means. It's some alien word that other people must experience, but you don't see a problem with anything anywhere. And life is just incredible. And your body feels amazing. So it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. But you are not going to manifest that thought when you are welcoming it. Okay, so is it true? Hi, Keith. Just want to say hello to everybody. Hi, Keith. Hi, Lavina. James. Oh, hi, James. I see how sweet you are. Hi, Fiona. Hi, Andy. Oh, love from Italy. Love to you too. Love to you too, Andy. Clarissa from South Africa. Much love to you too. Okay, so next. Here's somebody that is Ali. I think this person's name is Ali. I'm trying to manifest and focus on feeling I have my new job, but I'm struggling. I'm imagining handing in my resignation. I'm affirming every day I'm ready to start my new job today. I write that every day. Any tips or advice, please? I do have some tips and I do have some advice. Because just when I read your words, it all kind of felt like you didn't have the job now. You know, like handing in your resignation. Let's deal with that first. You don't need to do that one because that's the how, and the universe has got that covered, and you just need to get to the end result. And the end result is the job. And affirming that you're ready to start, there's nothing wrong with it, but you can take a way more powerful step to really speed up the manifestation. And that is to imagine that you are in the job now. So you have to be, do, or have the thing you want to manifest as though you already have it. So I'm just going to say that again because it's for everybody who wants to manifest. Just really check how you're visualizing or how you're affirming. You have to be, do, or have the very thing you want to manifest as though you have it already. So, for example, for the job, Ali, when you wake up in the morning for work, wake up as though you were going to your new job. Even though you're going to your other job, wake up as though you're going to your new job. Get dressed as though you're going to your new job. Do everything. Feel as though you're in your new job now. And I don't know if your new job has a different traveling route in a different location, if you would take different transport or drive in a different way, but you can map out how you would get to your new job, and just try and do everything like that as though you have it. I remember we got a letter from somebody. He was so incredible. He printed these little cards, business cards of his new job, which I just thought was so brilliant. And he like created this desk at home as though it was his new job. And anyway, he got the very job that he wanted. But the point is, the most important point is for all of you who want to manifest, you need to do it as though you have it now. When I was visualizing The Secret, I didn't visualize anything in the future. I visualized it as though it was here. It already happened. It had already happened. And I would look at people as I was walking down the street as though The Secret was already in the world when we were still making the documentary. So you really have to feel as though you have it. I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to say it again. There is no time. Einstein told you that. It seems like there's time, but there's no time for laws. Okay, so for example, law of gravity and law of attraction, there's no time for them. So that's why you have to visualize as though you have it now, because really law of attraction is like a big photocopying machine. Okay, so whatever you hold in here is going to photocopy out here. And so that's why imagine you have it now, and then you get the pictures that you have it now. You see, it's awesome. Okay, so this is from Empty River. Who's an empty river? Who's an empty river? That's a cool name. It's good to be empty. Oh, gosh. When I try to think about doing something, I always get a thought that I will never be as good as the other person in my field. My mind always compares everything. How do I stop comparison thoughts? This is such an awesome question, because in The Greatest Secret, and I think that this person has read The Greatest Secret. If they haven't, then you're really brilliant to notice that your mind is comparing. It's fantastic. So it's really great that you've noticed that, because that means that the mind has not quite hooked you in fully. In The Greatest Secret, it is explained that there's only 3 kinds of thoughts, and they are comparing, describing, and measuring. Every single thought you have fits into one of those 3 categories. And all minds behave this way. All minds are comparing, measuring, and describing. Every single one of us. We're not unique, you know. We're not unique. We've all got the same smorgasbord of thoughts to kind of play with. But the thing is, it doesn't, with those thoughts, it doesn't matter what the mind does. What matters is that you don't believe those thoughts, right? You don't want to identify with those thoughts and don't believe them. You don't need to control them, be trying to bash them down with a hammer. Go. No, you don't have to do any of that. You just need to be observing and witnessing them. And that's the moment that you observe a thought, you are no longer identified with that thought or believing that thought. And it can't manifest. You just like stop manifestation in its tracks for a negative thought. So it's really perfect. The more you observe and don't believe thoughts, the quieter your mind will become. And I talked before about thoughts are not personal. So they're just looking for someone to energize them and just say, be on your way. You don't belong here. I'm fabulous. I'm the infinite being. I don't want any negative thoughts. Be on your way. Okay, so one other quick question here. Just want to see some of the comments here. Hi, Claudia from Brazil. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Dorothy. Really amazing of you to be here. Dave. Hi to everybody on Instagram. You are just incredible. I mean, there's so many hearts here. I just love all of you. Oh, if I read your comments, I'll get really, really teary. Really, really teary. You are all so sweet, truly incredible. Okay, I want to just get some of these questions because I just know that they're going to help you. What is the right way to say affirmations and what should be our routine for manifestation? Please explain. Also, if you're seeing this, I would like to thank you for all the good you have done for this world. The secret really is my safe place and my home. Love to all. Isn't that so beautiful? Oh my God. Okay, so for affirmations, say them every day or every second day, depending on how quickly you want to change life. You can say them at night just before you go to sleep, or you can say them in the morning. And you know what? You can say them mentally or you can say them out loud. Sometimes it's good to try and feel yourself, which feels the most powerful for you, to saying them mentally or saying them out loud. I mean, I tend to say them mentally, but if you are saying them mentally, watch that the mind doesn't just like skip over them. Watch that you really, really like giving them a good emphasis. But I mean, I still do affirmations. I do health affirmations. I do all kinds of affirmations. And so they're just great, you know, it's just a great thing to do. Next question. Oh, this is a big one, actually. Somebody's telling me something and I can't read. I can't read his lips. He's telling me something really important too, because he wouldn't come in. He wouldn't, he's telling me. Anyway, I'm going to just keep going. This is from Danielle. I was just reading The Greatest Secret last night and some questions popped out, and now I came across this post. My question: it's hard for me to understand the concept of awareness as well as the awareness practice. Any tips on how to understand it deeper and faster? So I chose this question in particular because I'm hoping that somehow in the answering of this question that I might say something that kind of cracks for some of you. First of all, awareness is not a concept. And a concept is something mental, right? So it's not a concept. Unfortunately, when we verbalize something, it does become a concept, but it's not a concept, it's who you are. So I made some notes because I wanted to be really sure to try and, pardon me, communicate this to you all and try and help you, because this is who you are. You know, it's not foreign. But I will say this: the mind can't understand awareness or consciousness. It cannot understand it. That's impossible. So this is not something that you're trying to understand with the mind. This is something that you are sort of sensing, okay? But we can make it really simple, because you are aware of me talking to you right now, right? You're aware of that. And you're aware, or you're conscious of the room that you're in right now. And you're aware of the chair that you're sitting in. Now, the awareness of all of those things is who you are, right? You are awareness or consciousness experiencing being a person. But you're just aware of everything. From the very moment this body was born, you've been aware of every single second. That's how you know that you're experiencing life. So the awareness practice just helps you to become aware. And pardon me, let me just have a sip of water here. Okay, I was just looking at the comments because I can't help it. I hope to meet you too one day as well. Okay, so the awareness practice is we ask ourselves the question, am I aware? And the moment that you ask that question, our mind can't understand that question at all because it does no awareness. So just for a second, the mind drops and awareness is present. And you feel like this softening in your body, like this little softening in your body, or just a slightest little bit of relief in your body. And so I want to do this with you now, okay? In the book, you're asking yourself the question, am I aware? That's all you have to do. You're not even having to answer it. You're just asking the question. And the mind just stops for a second and goes to the background, and awareness comes to the foreground. So what you are doing is strengthening the infinite being that you are, which is awareness, consciousness, and weakening the chatterbox mind, that the part of the mind that you don't want around, the part of the mind that's doubting manifestation and everything else. So that's why the question is so powerful. So let's just do it now. Let me ask you, are you aware? Now you don't need to answer, but you are aware, right? Because you wouldn't even understand my question if you weren't aware, right? So you should feel just the slightest little bit of relief. I just realized that I already told you all of my notes. I did. I already told you everything. So every time you ask, and let me just ask you again, are you aware? Now, I don't want you to go around saying, I am aware, because a couple of people said that to me. And the tricky thing about that is that's the mind. I am aware. That's the mind. But are you aware? The question, it's really important questions, because the mind can't answer it. It will go quiet just for a second. The more you ask, the longer the duration that the mind will be quiet for. I did this. This is the way I did it. And now the mind is really quiet, and I only use it for manifesting. No matter what big drama is going on, it's quiet. It's quiet. It doesn't do any of the things that it used to do. I used to be on an emotional roller coaster, with all of the thoughts coming. And if somebody said something to upset me, oh my gosh, I couldn't sleep. I'd be tossing and turning. Oh no, I should have said this. I should have done that. All of those kinds of things that you feel. Oh, it's so not fun, right? That is so not fun, because you just want peace and happiness. You don't want any of that. So, where did I? So that was it. Awareness. Oh, that's the one thing I wanted to say. Awareness is always present. Always. Okay. It's only the mind that stops us from experiencing ourselves as awareness. Now, it doesn't stop us in that it takes awareness out. It just kind of covers it over like a bit of a blanket, but awareness is always there. You know what it's like? It's like the clouds in the sky. And so you imagine a blue sky and the clouds are there. And you can't see the blue sky, but the blue sky's there. The clouds can't take out the blue sky ever. The blue sky is always there. The clouds are just temporarily covering it up. The mind is just temporarily covering up who you are. And when you're kind of getting there, because you'd be happier, lighter, and happier. And that's why it's just the most amazing thing in the world. It's just so amazing, because then when you feel this happiness, and this joy, and oh my gosh, and then life has just become so easy. You just manifest like that really fast. So it's worth it, right? It's worth it. Now, I do want to get to this question if I can. I'm not sure what time we are, but are you guys okay if I just answer this question? Because there might be some other people who have a similar thing. This is from Dina on Facebook. Dina, yeah. My son is diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. It is really heartbreaking and very painful phase for me as a mother, as it is a non-curable disorder. Can I manifest for my 3-year-old son? And so I wanted to answer this in particular, Dina, because I understand exactly everything that you're feeling, because I have a daughter who developed a mental illness, And for many, many years, I suffered so much trying to save her, trying to fix her, trying to do everything that I possibly could to try and change what was happening with her. And in wanting to change what was happening with her, that's what made me suffer. And then I just realized this one day, I just had this incredible epiphany about it, that who am I to say that she's not living the perfect life just as she is right now with mental illness? I'm not God to say that this is not the perfect life. And now I even understand a whole lot more is that because she is living this life, this is the life that is very important for her to live. And so, and also I know that I suffered way more than she suffers. She's was way more accepting than me. And so I just changed the way that I viewed everything. I appreciate every really great second with her that I have with her. And now I don't spend my time wanting to change her. But what I do is I always keep a part of myself open to the fact that she may just get better. Because if I know people say things are incurable, but that's not true. Everything's curable. When something is created, its cure is created at the same time. And so everything, absolutely everything is curable. So then you asked about manifesting for your son. So here's what you can do. While completely accepting and loving your child exactly as they are, and I absolutely know that you would be, you just had a different dream for your son, right, than the one that your son is living. But what you can do is when your son is asleep, you can sit down on the bed next to your son, and then you can say these things which will go into his subconscious mind. And you can tell him that he is perfectly healthy, that he can do anything that he wants to do, that that his brain is healthy, that his mind is healthy, that he is the infinite being, and that he is all love, all intelligence, and all beauty, and all power. And he can live the exact life that he wants to live. And so you can just speak to him in that way. And while he's asleep, all of that will go into his subconscious mind. And that is the way that you can help him. Now, he is creating his own life. That is in his hands. However, if he wants to create something differently, if he wants things to be different, then all of your words will help him enormously. And all I can say is my heart goes out to you as a mother. I know how challenging it is, but this is, look, for me, my daughter, with all of the difficulties that I've been through with my daughter and the hardships, she's been the greatest gift in my life because I've realized so many things. And for a start, there would have been no secret because she's the one that handed me a book that was written in 1910 that had me discover the secret. So yes, all is well, Dina, even when it doesn't appear as though it is. And I hope that this helps you a lot. And Katie, I'm just going to go to this question, Katie on Facebook. Does awareness know our true life's purpose? Yes. Your true life purpose is to realize who you are. And then when you realize who you are, then you will be. I mean, that's your one intention more than anything else, is to discover who you are. When you discover who you are, then everything else is going to fall into place. But there's going to be like, I feel for sure that this was my life purpose, that discovering the secret and doing everything that I'm doing, I know for sure this is what I was meant to do. So there is that aspect too, but don't lose sight of finding out who you are. That is so important, because the person comes and goes, right? That comes and goes. But the infinite being that you are, awareness, consciousness, is eternal. And so when you've got that one down pat and you're living your life as that, well then, oh my gosh, you can do whatever you want. Because you will have an amazing, incredible life that free of fear and free of all negativity, all negative thoughts, all negative emotions, all problems. You will just have a great life. And so I think I've talked a lot. But I love you all so much, and I want to thank you very much for joining me today. Just remember that if you could just think about what you want, that's all you'll ever get. Bye, everybody. Take care.